OH. IO. Skadoosh. That's right. Ohio State starting the year off right, beating the number 1. Sorry, Texas. Gonna have to wait a little bit. Make way for the beast. Let's dive in. Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming. My ninjas, I am here today to talk about uncommon cards. Uncommon cards that are worth some dough in Standard, and the reasons why. We're going to start with Bitter Triumph, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. As an additional cost, to cast this spell, discard a card or pay 3 life. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. That's a deuce drop. Not a bad deal. Sometimes you want to discard, Sometimes you want to lose life. But either way you look at it, you got an option there to take out a creature or a planeswalker. That's worth talking about. Bitter Triumph currently sitting at around, for near foil, $3.49 for near mint foil. Normal price, $1.84. You can pick copies of foils up for $2.10. This is correct. Let me move that over a tiny bit. Let's keep this ball rolling. It's just a good card. What it says here, according to AI, its price is influenced by market demand and availability. You don't say. I know. They're not going to really be too insightful here. Moving along, another mentionable. These are honorable mentions. This is boltwave. Boltwave is in Foundations. Ooh, $6.20. Boltwave deals 3 damage to each opponent. That's cool. When you hear each opponent, yeah, you can kind of guess where this one's going. If you got something that boosts damage being dealt, on multipliers and stuff, where there's a boatload of cards like that do so, this thing is pretty ugly in Commander if you can get it to resolve. Yeah, $6.20 currently in foil. This card, you just sometimes know when a card's going to be good. When it says to each opponent, you already know where that's headed. This is a rule of thumb. I've said it for years now. Anytime you have a new card that drops, and it says each opponent, pay attention. That card could turn into something. So right now you can pick up a regular copy for $3.78, which is slightly more expensive than its foil counterpart. Interesting stuff. Why is it expensive according to AI? Well, it is a highly efficient and versatile card. The most jerk response imaginable. I don't think we're going to get too much more out of this if it doesn't mention Commander in here. There it is. There's Commander, including Commander. So, yep, now you know. Another honorable mention, then we're going to get into the big boys. Withering Torment, Dustmorn, House of Horrors. Destroy target creature or enchantment. You lose 2 life. When you have options, options are good. When you have the option to destroy target creature or an enchantment, that's not too shabby. Currently, you could pick this card up for the exact price of $3.48. And in foil for $3.48. Not a bad market. Let's take a little look at the price chart. I'm all about these charts, baby. This one has steadily climbed. What we're about to see, I'm gonna get a little butt scratched on it, because there's some cards that I was like, I know this is gonna be good. I even said it when I was spoiling the cards. I said it when I was opening the packs of cards, and the price was next to nothing at the time. Anyway, Withering Torment, primarily driven by its high demand and utility in the Commander format. Well, there you have it. Okay. And also, yeah, it's seeing some play in, Standard. For sure. But now let's get into the bread and butter. Let's dive into Patchwork Banner. What is up? What is up? When it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. This is a great card. Commander. That's right. If you could pull it off in Standard, which I'm sure there's Standard decks, that are knocking boots with it, go for it. This is one of those cards when it first dropped, you're like, I know it's going to be worth money. But this is from a set that's going to be printed into Oblivion for the next, 4 or 5 years? It's in Foundation. It's not in Foundation. It's Bloomborough. Oh my gosh. Didn't it get reprinted in Foundations as well? Now I got to check. No, Joey. But it did have a media promo. That's maybe what I was thinking. I don't know. I guess, yeah, whatever. I remember opening the media promo, too. Started out $3. Usually, when you see one of these media promos, the price tanks on them, right? They drop because there's a boatload of them. This one went up slightly. So, interesting to note here. Why is this card good? It's Commander. Yeah. Demanding Commander, according to AI format, is exceptionally versatile. It's all about Commander. Moving along. Stock up. This card, I knew off rip. I want to say the card was like, $250 when it came out, when it dropped, right? Yeah. even less than that. People knew. Could you? I don't know why I didn't buy a bunch of these cards. These people, 1,100 items sold. Holy smokes, man! Like every few days, almost 1,000, or sometimes in some cases a couple thousand sold. It was just nuts. The price has jumped all the way to $9.47. It's not hard to figure out why. When I saw this card, I knew instantly. And why did I not buy a bunch of them? This is one of those rare examples where a card's worth nothing. It's brand new. It's being overlooked by people who are spoiling the card, by the average player, and it stays cheap as all hell. And then people are like, "Wait a minute, dude, this is a really good card. What are we doing here?" And then they start buying them up like crazy. We're going to see this card again. It might take about a year or so, but we'll see it again. Just think how powerful this is. There's, I thought a 3-drop, this is a few years, 5 years ago, a 3-drop that let you draw 2 cards was pretty cool, right? You might have that in your deck, sure. But this is a 3-drop that you look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library anywhere. That's stupid. So you get to draw the best 2 cards from the top of your deck. That's nuts. That's nuts. I can't believe it's not butter. 37 cents. How much, what kind of increase is that? 2,459%. Is that accurate? I want to say it is. Yeah, that's nuts. Almost 2,500%. Foil 1212. Why it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this one out. It's one of the best draw spells in the game, period. Period, end of story. Sees play basically everywhere that it can see play, it's going to see play. Yeah, it's that simple. Unexpectedly strong performance across multiple competitive formats. How did not more people see this coming? I can't say I was 100% and I knew for certain because I didn't buy a bunch of these cards. But I do believe a lot of the people that purchased these cards early on, I do think they stockpile. So I'm sure there's people that are sitting on a ton, but they're probably slowly offloading them now that the price is $10. Think of how insane that flip is. You could wait a couple months, you buy 100 copies for 25 cents. Now you're selling them $8, $9, $10, $11. Someone do the math on 200 copies if you were to get in early on this. It's insane. Yeah. All right. Then we got Sheltered by Ghosts, Dustmourne, House of Horrors. Neat card. Enchant creature you control. When Sheltered by Ghosts enters, exile target online permanent opponent controls until Sheltered by Ghosts leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has lifelink and ward 2. There's a lot of text there, but there's a lot of perks here. It does a whole lot. Right now, the price, this was another card I think flew under the radar for the most part. Yeah, could have picked these babies up 67 cents to $2 in the first month. That's crazy. Market price now, $5.23. Foil copies are sitting at $5.86. Pretty remarkable. Voltron commander decks and standard aggro strategies, is where you're going to find this. AI. If you guys want to pause on the AI, I really don't need to go over the AI. I have a pretty good idea of what the heck the cards do and why they do what they do and why they're good, But if you want to pause and just read some of what AI has to say, because on occasion they get it wrong. So moving forward into the Flood Maw. Yeah, baby. Straight from Bloomborough. But be careful with Foundation, because they're going to reprint anything in Foundations, like a lot. Gift a tapped fish. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. If you do, they create a tapped 1/1 blue fish creature token before its other effects. Return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand if the gift was promised. Instead, return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. $5. Now $7.88 for foil. Market price $4.99. How we looking? This is another card you could have bought for 50 cents. That's probably like pre-sale, pre-release right there. It quickly, people knew what was up. It doesn't take much. Once the card leaves the spoiler season, And players are getting them in their hands and putting them in their deck, and they're using them, and they see just how well the card performs. Then you start to see the surge in price. This one keeps going up. Looks like the card spiked recently. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. And Bloomburrow's dope. People are going to want this for a long time, you know. $5, it is a good card. But again, it will see a reprint, you know. I have a special guest for you guys. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Come over here. Here, just get in the camera really quick. See me? Look at my little dude.
Hi.
Hi. All right, buddy. I'm going to record this, okay? And I need you to mute that because I'll get in trouble. Let me explain something. All right, where were we? I have no idea. Into the Flood Maw. It is from Bloomburrow. Bloomburrow is heavily beloved by many, many, many people. Fans really, really liked it. And I liked it too, but I'm going to be honest. Initially, I did not because I'm like, why we got all this stupid, fluffy crap, you know? Like, hi, I'm Joey Moss. I want Magic the Gathering to be badass, you know? I want to see, you know, the BLOOD and the guts and the glory and the darkness and the ghosts and the zombies and the demons, you know, and rage from within and fireballs bursting from my eyes and bolts of lightning from my ass. I didn't really want to see plush animals. All that aside, Bloomburrow, arguably one of the best-selling sets. In probably the past 10 years, like straight up. Yeah. So now you know. So Bloomburrow, amazingly good set. And I worry when you buy uncommons. I worry when anyone picks up uncommons because they're uncommon. Unless Wizard starts doing something new, heading in a new trajectory, where they're not going to print uncommons into oblivion that are good. Usually when a card performs well, Wizards will start printing it, and printing it heavily. So just be careful, okay? This is a card I could see getting reprinted a bunch too. But it's going to, I don't even know where, honestly, it's going to be tough where they're going to slot this in. Any sets that deal with assassins, mercenaries, pirates, and rogues, that's where we're going to see this card reprinted. If there's any upcoming, yep, you'll see it in there. Shoot the Sheriff. But I think it might be a little bit before Shoot the Sheriff gets a reprint. Could be wrong, but I doubt it. Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So the reason this card's moving, or not moving, I mean, this is one I wish I would have picked up a bunch of copies because I knew it was going to be good. And look at this. It stayed dormant. You know why? Because there was 2 other good removal spells at the time. And that was cut down and go for the throat. They were both in standard. Well, once rotation hit, yeah, that's why you see this sudden spike right here. You know, and people buy a bunch of copies, buy a bunch of cards. Oh my gosh, gotta have this in my deck. Gotta invest in it. That's another thing. A lot of people are starting to buy up cards. I do. You know, on occasion, I'll buy 500 copies of this like an idiot, right? For the most part, I've done well when I do that. There's, I think, 2 instances where I'm just like, I got stuck with the holding the bag and I don't think it's ever going to go up. When I buy a bulk like that, like 100 plus, but there's been about 8 instances. Honestly, I'm batting probably, I'd say I'm 8 for 2. When it comes to buying huge bulk amounts of a card, like 100 plus copies, I'm 8 for 2. 8 wins, 2 losses. Not bad at all, let me tell you. So near mint copies, $2.20. It's narrow. This is a card I knew was going to be good, but I'm afraid to buy uncommons because I know they're going to get reprinted unless Wizard stops doing that nonsense. This card jumped 1,000%, guys. Insanity. Destroy target non-outlaw creature. It's pretty cut and dry. Wow. Good stuff. Next, we're up to Untimely, Malfunction, Duskmourn, House of Horror. Holy crap. Near mint foils, $13.97. Another card that I knew was going to be worth something. It's a 2-drop. And it says choose one. This card is so flex, bruh. Destroy target artifact. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. Bruh. It's instant speed. Bruh. 1 of 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Bruh. No, this worked perfectly in the lab. I like that. Where was this card at? I honestly don't know. Okay. I guess maybe there was more hype around the card. What set's it from again? Dustmorn? Wasn't that 2023? I think it was 2023. Right? Could have been 2024. Okay. So, wow. Has this thing just been crazy? But yeah, I think some rotation happened, and again, we get a surge in price. Woo! We're at $9.80 for the foil. That's crazy. $4.91 for the non-foil. Just ridiculous cool. Ridiculous. It's so flex, though. Why? Why is it so good? Well, modern and pioneer sideboards. It is that simple. It is considered expensive due to its hyper. It says the same thing. In value its value is particularly pronounced in formats like Commander, where its ability to act as a budget deflecting SWAT. There you go. Hey, AI is teaching us stuff here. Furthermore, its relevance has been amplified by its potential to counter specific meta-defining cards, such as the Screaming Nemesis deck. Dude, that's what's up. Moving forward, baby, Boros Charm. I didn't really need to look this one up. Boros Charm sees play basically wherever it can. But mostly Commander, and anytime it appears in Standard, and also Modern. Again, options. Options are good. It's a 2-drop. It's like a staple in many formats. Choose one. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. That's a lot of going on there. Foil price, was it only printed in foil and foundations? I guess so. Was it really? No, stop it. It was only printed in foil and foundations. Well, that's got something to do with it. Yeah, always powerful in Standard and Commander and Modern, man. Due to a combination of high demand and limited supply. Okay, there you go. The card is a staple in popular decks like Standard Boros, Burn, and Boros Aggro. Pioneer, Legacy, Alchemy, pick a format, basically, and it should make its presence felt. Spelunking. It sounds dirty, don't it? I know, it really is. It sounds really dirty, guys. Near mint condition, $3.58. Currently $2.78. Foil is $3.53 for Spelunking. Price chart looks like this for the past year. So really not a whole lot's changed in the past year. It's up 8%. There you have it. Why is this card good? Landfall. We like landfall. Seen play in Modern's Amulet Titan. Lots of landfall strategies in Commander. Its impact is particularly notable in the Gates deck. There's a lot going on with it. It's a big, powerful house. Again, Spelunking, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield if you put a cave onto the battlefield. This way, you gain 4 life. Land you control onto the battlefield untapped. That's dope. Another card we're all like, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Overprotect. Deuce droppers. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. Imagine if it did that, and it was permanent. It was permanent. That'd be crazy, man. That's very fitting name, Overprotect. Foil copy $4.34, and regular copy $2.23. Did people see this one coming? No. Could have picked copies up for 10 cents. 39 cents. 40 cents, 70 cents. Then it went crazy. Bam, this card's amazing. It's kicking everyone's butt. Buy. Standard, gotta have it. And then it chilled out, and it's back. Most likely because rotation, and, people are back to limited card selection, right? Yeah. What else we got? These are honorable mentions at the end, too. Here's Insidious Roots. Creature tokens you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. Yep. How has it been doing? Well, kind of almost even where it was. It's up 42% from a year ago. I suppose so. Oh yeah, $1.11. Sure. You could pick this up for $1.70 or $1.58. What more is there to say? Honorable mentions, Bolt Bend. This card you just know. You know Bolt Bend's good. Spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Change the target of target speller ability with a single target. That's powerful in its own, right? And you could do that for 1. But then you look at something over here, you know, whoops, where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, no. Where's the red guy? There, well, here, yep. There it is. Untimely malfunction. Change the target of spell or ability with a single target deuce drop with all these other options on it as well. They just incredible stuff. I know. So bullpen's pretty dope, man. Lastly, I just want to give shout outs to Emma Partlow. If you would like to learn more about Emma Partlow, by all means, check out her little biography. Editor at TCG Player and Channel Fireball. Pretty legit. She also a member of the Pauper format panel. So thanks, Emma. I just went through her article on basically, cards that are going up, and basically took some cliff notes, and this is the video you got. So I just want to give praise where praise is due. Emma, keep doing what you're doing. Any other cards that we missed, please let me know. And any cards that you're specking on. I love to hear the spec talks, guys. I love to hear the speculation. Yeah, drop a comment. It does mean a lot. It helps the algorithm. I know it's boring when you hear crap like this from YouTubers, but honestly, if just 10% of you liked my video, just 10%, and like 5% of you watching commented on the video, do you have any idea how much that would help this channel? And it would mean an awful lot to me. Like, views would just skyrocket. So please consider that. Especially if you enjoy watching my videos, it's the absolute biggest thing to me. If you could just drop a comment on occasion, and definitely every time you watch a video, hit the like button. It means a lot. I'm Joey Moss of Bad Boy Gaming. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you next time here on Bad Boy Gaming. Skadoosh. Also, I'm thinking about changing the channel name to Moss Boss. Let me know what you think. Moss Boss. Why not? Let me know your thoughts on that one. Skink.